back from a music festival I was at this weekend in Hamburg um, with one of my best friends, and met some great people there, and just feel the call to share the festival kind of represents to me and some of the insights or reflections um, came through for me there. And actually, my background that it shows for today, I'm using this new statif, like a stabilizing thing for the camera that was gifted to me by my good friend Nick. And it's actually kind of representative of what I'm going to say today. But you can see different symbols, the hand of Fatima, this Sweden flag there, and this is a beautiful painting that one of my closest friends gifted me last birthday, and I have a lot of pictures on my wall of people and beings and artists and athletes and stuff that I find really inspiring, and they all represent different sides of me, different parts of me that I love and that I cherish. And just as I have them here on my wall, what I realized through this festival I was at was I really got in touch with the human part of me, like the Henrik part of me, whereas the weeks before especially really gotten into a kind of zone where I've been moving forward, establishing myself more as a spiritual leader in the spiritual community here, and preparing workshops and retreats and sessions and yoga classes and all this fun kind of stuff, and gaining confidence in that, and empowerment and excitement and joy. And as some of you may know, my spiritual name is Deva Bodhi that I received, and so with these parts I associate like the Deva Bodhi kind of energy with these endeavors. I'm more kind of my spiritual self, and and the spiritual energy that I resonate with, and Deva Bodhi energy and that kind of spiritual energy was very present these last months as well, going to 2 sober festivals and really exploring what's possible with mind and community and practices, and growing and evolving like that, which has been tremendously powerful and enriching, and that is really important to me, and I'm going to carry forward. And at the same time, what I realized at the festival, this is so funny that I have been to this festival before. It was my first like multi-day festival with that same friend I went with. We were there for three days, just as this time also 3.5 days. And it's not necessarily a spiritual festival. It's like a more of an art and music festival, which is really, really beautiful and really connected me back to Henrik, back to my human self, and really enjoyed drinking and smoking weed and celebrating and partying and dancing a lot, and enjoying a lot of different artists, and enjoying hip-hop, enjoying electronic, and also reconnecting with what I listened to a lot 3 years ago and 2 years ago. It's like a lot of that more slower kind of indie, dreamy indie, which I really love, but I hadn't listened to in a while just because of that kind of hustle mindset. It's more hip-hop and electronic based, and it's really good for me to reconnect with that kind of more peaceful, flowy, artsy energy, and give myself space to relax and also enjoy yeah, engaging with alcohol, engaging with weed, and yeah, also had a lovely MDMA journey this weekend, and yeah, it was really really beautiful. And coming back, I really took time these last 2 days to just integrate and feeling much more peace and openness and relaxation. Whereas before I was doing, and enjoying a lot. Also there's so much passion behind all of my projects, and at the same time I realized that just this stress and this pressure that I put on myself kept creeping up, and just immersing myself in a festival environment and in that space filled with art, filled with conversations, with getting to know new people and new artists, and just kind of floating around. We had beautiful weather, and it was just really beautiful, and I'm really grateful for it. And Henrik is really grateful for it. That part of me that's yeah, just human and 23 years old, and figuring things out as I go along. Yeah, was also definitely challenging the festival in terms of different emotions coming up, and sadness and loneliness and all kinds of stuff, which I was invited to be with, and attachments and all of that juicy stuff kept coming up. And so for me it was definitely an invitation into growth, into relaxation, into expansion, and also into deeper self-acceptance. Bless me. Yeah. So I invite you to explore with me also these different versions of ourselves, like the athlete, the artist, the creative, the spiritual being, the one who's learning, the one who's growing, the one who's sad, the one who feels really vulnerable, the one who has a lot of friends, the one who feels lonely, and exploring these different archetypes and even parts of ourselves, and how we can be with them and allow them to be there wherever we are, and in our range of being, the person that the one inside that feels really cool, the one that feels really insecure, all of them. And one of the core things that became even clearer for me is that the goal for me is to simply be as authentic and self-connected as possible, and then to speak that self-connected truth no matter what, just really speaking truth, expressing truth, personal truth that is not necessarily neat, that's not necessarily always spiritual, that's not always politically correct, that's just real, and giving space to that energy. Yeah, and that's what's coming up in my friendships as well, is that yearning to be real with each other. So happy to share this with you, and wishing you a beautiful moment wherever you are. I'm just going to take a moment just to sit here. I invite you to sit with me and just sit in presence for maybe another minute or so. Just feeling what your truth is in this moment, and then sharing it by writing it down or writing a comment. And just how do you feel right now? here. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate your presence. And yeah, send you a lot of love. Let me know what you take away or what's